Hi there, my name is Karan Kanwar and I'm the CEO of Wing Assistant. Today, Wing employs thousands of people all across the world, across different continents, countries, backgrounds, and cultures. I'm proud to say that as of today, Wing Assistant is one of the fastest growing companies in the virtual talent space. We've saved our clients a combined total of well over 1.8 million hours. That's nearly a millennium worth of work and time saved. Now, I share some of these statistics with you all because I want you to understand that Wing Assistant, we are one of the foremost experts when it comes to delegation. And this series is going to teach you exactly how to do it, exactly how to get over some of your mental blocks, and generally become a delegation expert yourself. First off, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that prevent people from being effective delegators. From my experience, typically it's that people, first of all, think, hey, I could probably do this better, faster, more effectively than somebody else could. So why should I waste my time explaining to this person how to do this? I'll just do it myself. Now, it can be pretty scary to delegate something to somebody new for the first time. You're probably right in assuming they're going to mess it up. And you know what? They probably will. But the way that you need to think about this is that if this is a task that you have that occurs multiple times per week, multiple times per month, whatever it is, by teaching this person and investing some initial time and getting it so that they can get it right this first time is critical. Because if this is a task you're doing, let's say twice a week, and it's taking you 30 minutes to do each time, you're looking at an hour a week times 52. That's 52 hours of your life, more than one single entire work week. And so by investing some time up front, maybe probably 2 hours or 3 hours, and making sure that this person that you're delegating to gets it right, just think about how much time you're going to compoundingly save over the course of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You're going to have multiple weeks of your life back. Now, obviously, especially when you're in a pinch, you've got to get this thing done quickly. Maybe that's not the best time to figure out how to delegate this big and complex task to somebody. But you're seeing where I'm going with this. As you invest in people, you're getting a return in the fact that they're going to be able to handle this task for you in the future and save you a lot more time. At the very beginning, it's very likely to feel like you're pulling teeth because, it's when I say 2 or 3 hours, it's likely going to be in the form of 15, 20 minutes every time they mess up or every time you receive something that you believe is unsatisfactory. But, when you put all that effort together, eventually it's going to have a really positive outcome. Second, a really big thing that prevents people from delegating is that they believe that they have to be structured. Especially people who are very high aptitude, very polished, are pretty, type A, which is probably what I'm describing sounds a little bit like you if you're a business owner yourself. Typically, those types of people want to keep their image very much the same in the eyes of people like their assistants or their talents. And so they don't want to delegate something unstructured. They don't want them to see how messy their inbox is, whatever it is. And the person that you've hired knows what it means to manage an executive back. One of the things that we focus on in training our talents is that they need to know how to effectively manage you in a way. So they know that you're not perfect. They know that that a lot of clients are messy, and they've worked with a lot of other clients as well that have had the 200,000 emails unread, and they know that a lot of people can be messy. So it's not something that you need to hide. It's something that you can be fully transparent about with your talent. When and I'm a very messy person that way. So when I first tried using my assistant for the first time, I just gave them access to my Gmail, and my assistant was genuinely scared because I had at the time over 23,000 unread emails, and I was like, "Could you help me sort these?" Eventually, they got the hang of it, and now when there's something important that I need them to pay attention to, or that I need to pay attention to rather, they often tell me. They're the ones who typically originate those types of requests, like, "Hey, Karan, you need to take a look at this. This looks a little bit urgent." Or, "Hey, Karan, this is not that urgent. You want me to take care of it for you?" Or in some cases, or in a lot of cases actually, they just take care of it for me because they know about the sorts of things that I really tend to care about, because I've invested some of that time in showing them, hey, this is what I care about. This is what you can probably handle on your own, etc. But also it takes that first initial step to get over being afraid to share with somebody how sort of messy your life is. And that's okay. I hear a lot of the time that customers feel like they need to become more organized before they give their talent something. And that makes sense to an extent. Like, like you do want to be a little bit more organized yourself before you can bring somebody into sort of your delegation cycle. But what I would recommend is you don't necessarily need to be. You should actually, in my opinion, be as, like vomit as much stuff onto the other person as possible. A typical exercise that I recommend for this sort of restraint when people feel like you don't want to share what's going on, what you should probably do is take a piece of paper. Write down everything you're worrying. I mean, it's a digital age, you can use your computer too, but write down everything that's worrying you right now. What are your business problems? What are the things that are on your mind? What are the small things on your mind? What about things in your personal life? Write all those things down and then think about from two angles. One is, what do you feel as a business owner, as an executive, as a CEO, whatever you are as in your job, what do you think is not important for you to be dealing with? Put those on one side. Now, what do you think is something you really do need to be doing yourself? And again, think about it from the perspective not of what you have been doing yourself for so long, but what is essential to your business. So for me, that's, for example, looking over our product at Wing. That's something that I care very deeply about, that all of our customers get a really high quality product experience. But something else that's maybe less important, which is maybe what sales copy do people receive when they're being onboarded. I trust my head of sales to be able to come up with content like that. And, the ones that I put together when I was first starting this company probably weren't that good anyways. And yeah, I believe they have gotten better, for example. And so I really do trust my team to make better judgments than I have. But yeah, coming back to my paper example, I think it's imperative that you're able to sort of figure out what is really important for you to do and what really doesn't matter that much for you to do anyways. And what your VA and talents might be able to help you do actually is just send them that list. Send them the things that you think that are not important for you to do and tell them, hey, could you do any of these things? Typically, I mean, that list is going to be very something that you've generated out of, scribbling something down. And so your talents VA is not going to be able to figure out what you mean. But from the title, they're able to judge that this is something that, hey, I could probably take this on. Maybe it's putting together a list of, funding opportunities, or putting together a list of grants or proposals, or, doing some research, stuff like that. Those are typically things that, anyone could handle and don't seem super high priority for somebody in your position, CEO, business owner, etc., to handle. The third thing is about communication. I feel like a lot of us, are maybe not that used to the idea of remote work as yet. And so this idea that you have to sit and type out everything slowly about what you want your assistant to know about how to do a particular task. Like I said in that prior example, giving them a list of what's going on, when they pick up on something, you're like, okay, great, do it. That's what you wish you could say. But you have to provide context, you have to provide instructions, you have to tell them where to go, what to look at, etc. And so because of that, we at Wing, we acknowledge that, and we've tried to create some features within our app that makes it a little bit more useful. So, for example, there's a little microphone button on both mobile and web that you can just click on, and you can start recording a voice message. And that's something that you can do on any device that has a microphone. Or what you can do is you can use our little call feature. There's a little phone icon. You can tap that and it'll tell your VA to hop on a call. They'll join within 3 minutes and you can basically have a conversation with them about what you need them to do. And finally, we even have a feature called Wink, which is very similar to Loom if you've used it before. It's like a screen recording piece of software where you can just start recording your screen, do the task that you want to train them on, and basically that video will live on and they can take a look at it whenever they need some help or some guidance on the task at hand. So we've tried our best to put features into the product that help you communicate more naturally, so you don't have to sit and type like 2 or 3 paragraphs explaining what to do. And yeah, I think getting over that communication hurdle is one of the most critical things. And on that note as well, it's also about the formal, informal communication style things. So this is something interesting. Our COO, Martin Gomez, he's actually had some really interesting success in just breaking down the formality barrier between him and his talent, right? He's not going to be talking to his assistant, his team, in a very formal way. He jokes with them. He makes them feel as if they're like they have camaraderie with one another. And so as a result of that, he has a very good working relationship with them. So because he's developed that relationship past just, you're my subordinate, they tend to be a lot more receptive to more short form communication. What that means is, you don't have to write, hello, how are you doing today? Blah, blah, blah. You don't have to waste your energy, your very limited time energy bandwidth in trying to be very nice, respectful, and formal. I mean, of course, you still want to be respectful, but, you don't need to spend that additional time in creating a very formal environment. You can be a little bit more yourself. And yeah, those are the 3 big tips that I wanted to share about mental hurdles and mental blocks that prevent delegation, that prevent effective delegation. And I hope that some of these tips are helpful. I'll be making some more videos that explain more strategies, more mental hurdles, more methods to be more effective at delegation. And I hope you tune in. I hope I can slowly build up a little delegation academy for everybody who's having trouble finding an 8-hour block to give people. And yeah, we'll do our absolute best to make sure that you feel supported during this process. Please reach out to your customer success manager at any point in your journey, and they'll do their absolute best to help you out. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video.